One of the habits many black males learn growing up in single mother households is begging. And what a lot of black boys don't understand is when you come from a position of begging, it is to your detriment. When you become a beggar, you are pretty much putting yourself in a submissive position. You are not coming from a position of power or a position of authority. What you really are coming from is a position of weakness. And this is what black boys grow up because this is what they learn in a lot of cases growing up in single mother households. And sometimes because of the racism they see their parents experiencing, and this is what is modeled for them, is this begging mentality. But when a black man comes from a begging mentality and a way of thinking that he has to beg for everything, he is just basically saying that he will live on his knees. He's basically saying, I submit to whatever is given to me, I take whatever is given to me, and I do not demand better. And that is not a position that God intended men to come from. God does not intend for men to be beggars. He intends for men to be leaders. And you can't lead on your knees. You can't lead from a position of submission. And this is something many black men I've seen in the neighborhood. This is what I see from the way their upbringings and the way they're raised. And this is highly dysfunctional. I can just walk around the neighborhood and I just see black men coming from the position of a beggar. They'll be standing outside of a restaurant, fast food restaurant such as a McDonald's, your red and white chicken place. They're holding the door, hoping to get whatever little change people feel pity on them and to give them. Or they'll just walk up to a complete stranger and say, hey man, can I get 50 cents? And then the crazy part about this is that these black male will be wearing a pair of $200 Air Jordan tennis sneakers, $150 True Religion jeans, an expensive basketball jersey, and he'll be holding a $500 iPhone. But he will have the audacity to approach a complete stranger and ask for such a minuscule amount of money. He'll sit there and ask you for 50 cents, ask you for $1, and he has no idea how embarrassing he looks because no one has taught him that a man does not act this way. A man does not behave in such a manner. He doesn't go out and beg people, but this is what he has seen in the households and in the environments he lives in. He's seen his mother, she goes and begs the Con Ed man for another few days and an extension. She begs the store owner to let her get away with 50 cents or 99 cents when she's short at the register at the supermarket. Or he sees her at the barber shop or the hair salon begging, or the nail salon, begging for to get away with $1 or $1.50, or I'll be back next time to pay this later on. And because she's begging all the time, this is what he learns how to do in life. And this, again, does not help him as a man navigate life in the world. Because, again, when you come from the begging position, you're saying that I don't need to be respected, I don't need to be valued, and no one in the world needs to respect me. This is why a lot of black men don't get respect because they believe that they have to come from this submissive position. They believe they have to come from this beggar position in order to get their needs met because this is what the way they've been raised since they were a child. And when you've been raised like this, you are pretty much cutting your legs off right out from under you because you have to learn how to navigate the world and come from a position of authority. You have to learn how to come from a position where you command respect, and you have to have a presence about you. And black men, in a lot of cases, do not learn how to do this. And they come from every aspect of life with this beggar mentality. This is why a lot of black men have a hard time with romantic relationships with women or just dealing with women because they come at them from a beggar's perspective. They They're begging for dates, like your Steve Urkel on Family Matters, or just because the thirsty guy, he's a beggar. He's begging for attention instead of commanding the authority and respect that will get him the attention that he's craving. Because he doesn't understand how to navigate the world again. He doesn't understand that when you beg somebody, you're basically giving that person leverage. You're basically saying, I don't deserve to be valued. I don't deserve to be respected. I don't even deserve, I have I'm not worthy of consideration. And what people, when they see you as not worthy of consideration, what they're going to do is not respect you at all. They're going to ignore you, or they're just going to just blow you off. And that's what they do because they don't see you as valuable or worth the time. Again, this is about you. You have to see yourself as valuable and worth the time to be pursued. You have to see yourself as someone worthy of attention. You have to see yourself worthy of being seen as someone valuable. And this is something black men, for the most part, do not learn. And what they do learn is, okay, I have to come from this submissive position. I have to beg and plead, and I have to, just keep hounding people, harassing people, haranguing people, just to get, crumbs from the table. And when you come, again, you come like that, you're not going to get anything. You have to come from a position of authority, saying that I am valuable and I have something to offer, and what I have to offer is so valuable that when I present it to you, you can either take it or leave it. And this is something black men have to learn. This is something I had to learn myself early on in the '90s when I started my when I started on my writing career. I mean, I would submit queries. I knew the book was that my books were valuable, and once the person said no, I just said, okay, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to accept it. And this is something a lot of black males, for the most part, they don't get this. They think that they can come from this submissive position, begging, where they keep coming back and going, please, 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 please. There is no please. It's either a yes or a no. And what you have to learn is that when you come from the beggar, you're not going to get the very best. When you come from a position of authority, you're going to get the very best because people are going to respect you and they're going to give you the very best. They're going to want to give you the very best because you are showing yourself as someone with value and you're showing yourself as someone who is valuable. But when you come across as a beggar, you're just willing to say, I'm willing to settle for whatever is. And that you have no standards, and whatever people give you, you will just take. And you never really, as a black man, want to come from that position because that's why you get garbage. That's why you get substandard. That's why you get mediocre and subpar. Because you come from a position of submission, you come from a position of, as a beggar, and you're sitting there thinking that you're being that people it really is what happens is people are feeling sorry for you, and when people feel sorry for you, you're done. um, Basically they see you as less than. They are pitying you because I know about this because I know about this when I was a kid growing up. People used to try to pull this game on me, but I would say to myself, I'm more valuable than this. Because I remember being in high school back in the day, girls would say, I feel sorry for him, and I would say, I'm not getting involved with you at all because basically, if you do not respect me, now we're not going to have anything later on. And if you feel sorry for me, we have no relationship right now. There is no possibility for relationship right here because I don't want people feeling sorry for me. Because when you get into that position, again, they have all the leverage and they're going to use it to pound you into the ground. When people are, or when you are coming from the beggar position, you just literally are at that point where you just anything you have to take whatever they give you instead of saying this is what I want. And you have to say yourself as a black man, you have to go for what you want. You have to go and set your goals and set your standards to accomplish what you want to accomplish. You can't sit there and say, I'll just take whatever is. And this is something a lot of black men I've seen just walking around my neighborhood, doing errands and taking care of business. When they don't see that this is what happens when you ask for the 50 cents. You're basically saying, I'll take whatever this guy gives me. My dignity is only worth 50 cents. My self-respect is only worth 50 cents. I'm sitting there holding a $200 iPhone, wearing these $160 jeans, wearing these $200 sneakers, but my self-worth is zero. And because your self-worth is zero, you don't know how to carry yourself as a man. I mean, to say you're wearing all these expensive items and yet you're still begging another man for 50 cents instead of saying, I will take this money that's in my pocket. I'll take this iPhone that I have and I'll go get myself an eBay account and a PayPal account and start a business. Or I'll use the web on that eBay, on that iPhone, to go search for work. It says that I don't value myself. And I see a lot of black men out here. Um, the problems is that they don't understand what the intangibles are, and they sacrifice so much of their personal power for so little. And it's something that we really need to start talking about more. These are concepts that, again, this is not something that a black man is getting these days, and black men begging is not a place you want to go to. You don't want to be a beggar in life because I see it everywhere, and I see black men doing this to themselves, and they don't see where coming from the position of a beggar is the bottom, and you're just not going to get the very best in life unless you demand better of yourself and you demand better of others. Um, because when you demand better, you're going to get better. When you have presence and authority, people are going to give you your respect because that's what I get because I demand better. Again, this is something I've known since I was 15, 16 years old, and saying no to things to people who um, want to say they feel sorry for you or they are coming from that position, that says that I have value for myself. It says I have a sense of self-worth and that I can do better. And I always go around asking for what I want. And if people don't want to work with me, I walk away from them. Simple as that. And that's the way you have to say yourself, black man. That's the way a lot of because I see a lot of black men. They don't see what they're doing, and they don't see how this is hurting them long term. And another thing that I see with black men is, in addition to the begging, I see them going to get their mother to take them to their job interview. This is another disturbing concept that I see. You're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to be able to carry yourself in such a way that you can do for yourself. If I was to see a grown man or going into a job interview with his mother, I would look at this and go, I'm not hiring this guy because he does not have the self confidence or the self worth to come in here from that position of authority and say that I am valuable enough to go get this job on my own. Because as a man, you have to go out and do things for yourself. If your mother has to come take you to a job interview, that's embarrassing to see. And I see this. I've heard about this from about black men, and you can't do stuff like that. It's not what men do. It's not what a man does. A man goes out on his own. He sets his goals, and he goes out and he does what he needs to do. And this is what happens when boys aren't raised right. And boys, a lot of us need to understand a man has to learn how to do things on his own. He has to learn how to solve his own problems. He has to learn, basically, how to function in life. And he's not going to learn that from a begging perspective. He's got to learn that when you beg, you get whatever people give you. But when you go for what you want, you get what you want. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.